ni Secretary Vince Dizon at ng DPWH na tama. Noong October 16, nag-press briefing ako tungkol sa mga contractor appointees ng DPWH na ako ay nagpapasalamat. A few weeks ago, inamin ni Secretary Vince Dizon at ng DPWH na tama ako. Dalawa ng mga appointees ng bagong liderato ng DPWH ay mismong contractor ng DPWH. At yung isa na nagpasok sa kanila na nag-resign una na si Yusek Ari Perez ay konektado kay Congressman Edwin Garjola at sinubukang ilapit si Congressman Garjola kay Sec Vince para makakuha ng kontrata. Anyway, yun po ang backstory. When I was giving that press briefing, may tumawag sa akin na mataas na opisyal ng DPWH on behalf of Sec Vince Dizon. At ang pinag-usapan sa telepono ay ang budget ng distrito ko. Ayaw ko naman na maapektuhan ang budget ng distrito ko dahil sa ginagawa ko ngayon. Pero ako po ay nagtitiwala na dahil tama naman na malaman ng publiko ang budget ng bawat distrito. The fact na tinawagan ako tungkol sa budget ng distrito ko sa gitna ng ating press con alone is proof na ang budget ay ina-allocate din for purposes other than the need of the districts. At minsan, ito nga din ay ginagamit bilang leverage over members of Congress. Pero nagtitiwala po ako na hindi maapektuhan ang budget ng distrito ko dahil sa ginawa ko ngayon.
Okay, sir. Thank you po.
Pero yan pong dahilan na pinatawag ako noong October 16 sa gitna ng press briefing para ipaalala sa akin ang budget ng distrito ko. But despite that, nagbigay ako ng file sa PCIJ at nilabas nila noong Nobyembre. I'm surprised that she hasn't talked to Sec Vince based on her statements because Yusek Claire Castro will make a fool of herself because Secretary Vince and many others will confirm the authenticity of the files that I've uploaded. Kung kausapin lang ni Yusek Claire si Secretary Vince, wala pong dahilan bakit wala pang sagot si Secretary Vince o si Yusek Claire tungkol sa kanilang koordinasyon sa pagberipika ng authenticity ng mga files na ito.
And for the record lang, sir, meron po bang, ano po yung mga nakita ninyong irregular dito sa mga inilabas po ninyong dokumento?
Marami po ang pwedeng talakayin tungkol sa mga dokumentong ito. Pero ang siguro basic fact is walang dahilan na hindi tayo transparent sa budget allocations ng ating mga distrito. In fact, some of this data is publicly available including magkano yung budget na nasa gaan naman ng bawat distrito. Pero yung public data na yon na hindi pinipresenta on a per district basis alone ay surprising sa iilang mga mamamayan kasi ganyang kalaki pala ang nakukuha ng kani-kanilang mga distrito. Ang nakita kong reaction sa Facebook. 3.5 trillion pesos ang DPWH budget ng 2023 to 2026. Ang mga nakukuha ng mga distrito umaabot sa 50 to 60 billion pesos during that time period. Ang mga average siguro kung 3.5 trillion divided by 253 districts ay mga nasa 15 billion pesos at sana napupunta sa magagandang mga proyekto ang 15 billion pesos per district DPWH budget. Pero ang hindi public sa mga files na ito ang datos kung sino ang nagpro-propose ng mga proyektong ito. At ang isang terminology na na-introduce sa recent discussions surrounding the budget system of Yusek Cabral ay ang term allocable. So ayon sa mga files na ito, 401.3 billion ang allocable budget sa taong 2025. At ang non-allocable o outside allocable ayon sa files na ito ay nasa mga 600 plus billion pesos. Ang 401 billion pesos na ito ay ang district congressman pwedeng mag-erata o amend. Ang outside allocable naman po ay iba ang nagpro-propose ng mga proyekto. Maaaring meron din input or meron din alokasyon ang mga district congressman sa outside allocable. At yun din po ay pwedeng ipaliwanag ng DPWH paano dinidecide yung proponents para sa outside allocable. Pero para sa very short appreciation ng meron din input or meron din alokasyon ang mga district congressman sa outside allocable. At yun din po ay pwedeng ipaliwanag ng DPWH paano dinidecide yung proponents para sa outside allocable. Pero para sa very short appreciation ng publiko, ang magandang tignan nga po ay magkano ang allocable budget ng bawat district representative at tanungin paano ni Yusek Cabral kinompute ito. Ibinahagi po ni Yusek Cabral sa akin noong June 11 sa aming unang meeting sa kanyang opisina ang kanyang high-level budget allocation formula. At meron nga siya pong acronym dito, yung acronym nga niya po ay ang kanyang Baseline Balanced Managed Parametric Formula adopted in the National Expenditure Program Preparation. Pero ang lumalabas ay hindi naman ayon sa populasyon, land area o pangangailangan ang budgetary allocation kasi may ilang mga distrito na napakalaki ang alokasyon kahit na mas maliit ang kanilang populasyon kaysa sa mga malalaking distrito na malaki ang pangangailangan pero maliit ang alokasyon. At ang nasabi ko na nga din po sa ibang mga interviews ay napansin ko nga po na may mga distrito na malaki ang populasyon at marami din po kasing mga contractor doon. Kaya maganda na isiwalat sa publiko ang budget ng bawat distrito at bahala na lang po ang publiko maghusga ano ang naging basehan para sa alokasyon ng DPWH sa kanilang mga budget. Wala pong dahilan na mag-cast doubt si Yusek Castro sa in-upload kong data. At I'm sorry to say this, but I think she will make a fool of herself because Secretary Vince and others in DPWH and others in Congress will confirm the authenticity of the files that I've uploaded.
Okay. So basically you're saying may formula, hindi nasunod. Is that irregular? Hello?
Wala pong formula. Ang unang-unang sinasabi ko po ay kahit na hindi ako magsabi na may irregularity dito, mabuting malaman ng publiko ilang bilyon ang DPWH budget ng kanilang mga distrito taon-taon at sa nakaraang mga taon. Baka yung irregular nga dito, bakit ayaw isa publiko ang budget ng bawat distrito sa Pilipinas? Yan po ang irregular. Dapat malaman ng taong bayan saan napunta ang 3.5 trillion pesos budget. Kahit sino na magbibigay ng kanilang opinion, sa tingin ko naman wala naman mag-argue against the need for transparency on the per district budget allocation.
Yes, we agree on the transparency, but I just mean,
So
meron po ba kayong plan?
yung irregular po sa akin is actually not the data. It's more the reaction na parang hindi pa nga nila isinasa publiko ang kanilang available na budget data. Naglabas lang ako ng budget data tapos ganito po ang kanilang reaction. And all this time, until I brought it out, at ang data na ito ay nasa kamay ng napakaraming mga miyembro ng Kongreso at DPWH din, itinatago pa ang available naman pong data tungkol sa DPWH budget per district.
Okay. So just to clarify, sir, will this are you saying that this is just for transparency and you're not seeing any irregularity?
Ang ICI at Ombudsman ay gumagawa ng mga investigasyon pa tungkol sa mga irregularities, linking, for example, the proponents of projects to the contractors who are eventually awarded the projects. The budget data is a starting point. There might be some cases where prima facie the proponent is linked to the contractor, and that is an irregularity. But in other cases, there might have to be some further research on if there is a relationship between the proponent and the contractor, and maybe AMLAC can help find out if there was a financial transaction behind the insertion. But I think the most irregular thing here is bakit itinatago all these years yung budget per district data ng DPWH. At babanggitin ko lang din po na nung September, sinabi ni Sec Vince, isa sa publiko niya ito. Marami pong nagtatanong sa akin, bakit ko hindi ito isinapubliko nung September pa? Kasi sabi ni Sec Vince sa akin na isa sa publiko niya. Aaminin ko din po, marami sa Kongreso, nung sinabi ko gusto ko mag-privilege speech para isa publiko ito, nakiusap sa akin na wag isa publiko ito. Kaya mas gusto ko sana na si Sec Vince na lang ang magsasapubliko nito para hindi ako ang sisisihin ng ating mga kasamahan. Kahit hindi po ako kasama sa kwento, gusto ko lang lumabas ang istorya na to. At hindi po ito naitanong pa ng ibang mga media, pero naisapubliko na nga ito ng PCIJ noong Nobyembre. At meron po silang anonymous source para sa kanilang file. Meron pong ibang mga file sa kanilang istorya na galing sa ibang source. Pero ang ibang mga files ng PCIJ sa kanilang story noong November ay ako. Kaya kahit hindi po ako kasama sa story, okay lang sa akin. Gusto ko lang maisapubliko ang data ng budget per district. Noong November din, pinakita ko sa ICI at sa Ombudsman ang buong file na nakuha ko mula sa opisina ni Yusek Cabral at sinabi nila sa akin then, only then did they see it. And I'm thankful that this Tuesday, the DPWH finally turned it over to the Ombudsman after all of this happened. I think that I was the one who, in good faith, showed it to them in November, and yet I don't know why people are asking why I'm only talking about this now. I gave an interview in November also talking about this list, in fact, several interviews, and was saying that Yusek Cabral knows more about the DPWH budget than any other official, and that she should be made a state witness. At ikinalulungkot ko po na hindi ito na-actionan ng gobyerno. Pero for the record, nung November ko pa, sinasabi lahat ito. Nung buhay pa si Yusek Cabral.
Okay, thank you po.
Sir, sorry, Marian, go ahead.
Sige, go ahead ate. Come on na.
Sir, itatanong ko lang yung in-upload nyo na 2023 to 2026 data. Meron din bang irregular doon?
Again, yung irregular, bakit hindi ito inilalabas after all these years? Ang taong bayan ay may karapatan na malaman saan napunta yung 3.5 trillion pesos. Pero aaminin ko, maraming mga kasamahan ko sa Kongreso galit dahil ngayon nagtatanong ang mga taong bayan sa social media, ang laki pala ng budget, saan napunta? Maraming siguradong nakiusap din kay Sec Vince na wag isa publiko ito. Pero sinabi sa akin ni Sec Vince noong September na gusto niyang maisa publiko ito. Kaya ako gusto nung una na si Sec Vince na lang ang magsapubliko nito para hindi ka questionin pa ng ibang mga ahensya ng gobyerno katulad ni Yusek Claire Castro ang authenticity na ito. Pero si Sec Vince mismo ang nagbigay sa akin ng ibang mga files dito. Hindi nga si Yusek Cabral ang nagbigay ng ilang mga files dito sa akin. Si Sec Vince ang nagpabigay sa akin ng ilang mga files dito. Kaya I'm sorry, but there's a reason I suppose na hindi pa nagpahayag si Secretary Vince sa media. I don't know why Yusek Claire is not coordinating with him. Yusek Claire Castro will make a fool of herself because Sec Vince will confirm the authenticity of the files that I've uploaded.
Sir, I am assuming that you saw the YouTube live of Yusek Claire Castro earlier today. Would you like to address her statements?
I already did that. I don't know why she hasn't updated us on whether she's talked to Sec Vince, but the fact that she keeps on making statements, casting doubt on these files, might mean she might not have even talked to Sec Vince yet. And the dozens of other people that have these same files, Yusek Claire Castro will make a fool of herself because Secretary Vince and many other people will confirm the authenticity of the files that I've uploaded.
Sir, Yusek Castro also said that but hindi na lang daw kayo mag-file ng case.
As I said a while ago, the budget data is not the full picture to file a case, but it should have been given to the ICI and the Ombudsman since September, as I discussed with Secretary Vince Dizon in September. I understood when I talked with Sec Vince in September that the files would be given to the ICI and Ombudsman. And I went to the ICI and Ombudsman in November and showed them the files. I think maybe they don't even know that I did that, but that was already published. It's not my fault if they don't know what I've already published. I showed them to the ICI and the Ombudsman already in November for them to make their case. And I hadn't done it in September because I thought DPWH already did it. So I did it in November, and I'm thankful that now the DPWH has turned it over to the Ombudsman. So I would actually appreciate it if Yusek Claire Castro will give an update correcting herself because Sec Vince said that he was going to do it. I learned in November it wasn't done, and I did it. And they did it now after the public called to do it. But I hope that they can correct themselves, given that I was saying all these things since November.
Sir, nako-confuse lang ako dun sa paki-clarify lang po yung earlier na sinabi nyo na walang irregular doon sa budget data and that yun nga hindi enough ito to file a case. So why is there a big deal
Okay.
on this data?
Kung maaari ko pong ipaliwanag. Kung meron 20 billion peso budget ang isang distrito sa isang taon o 60 billion peso budget sa 4 na taon, that's not enough. But it's worth asking. Kung ang ibang mga distrito ay may 10 billion at ang ibang mga distrito naman ay may 30, 40, 50, 60 billion, bakit? At saka, ano ba ang status ng 30, 40, 50 or 60 billion pesos na mga proyekto sa isang distrito. Kung substandard sila, baka nagkaroon ng maanumalyang transaksyon. Sino ba yung contractor? Ano ang koneksyon ng proponent sa contractor? Yan ang investigative work na dapat gawin ng ICI at Ombudsman. Ako po ay mambabatas at isinisiwalat ko po ito in aid of legislation, lalong-lalo dahil ngayon ang budget season at matagal ko na pong pinapanukala na dapat ang budget allocation ay hindi based on discretion, kung hindi based on an equation like land area population. Tulad po ng ating national tax allotment. Dahil pag may discretion, ang aking pananaw ay yan ang nag-give rise sa bentahan ng budget, na yun naman din po ay napatunayan. Pero I'll give one example of a maanumalyang budget allocation. Sa aking sariling distrito, ginawa ko na nga po ang investigasyon. Meron pong mga projects na itukoy sa mga files ay allocable mula sa district representative. At ang mga contractors ng mga allocable projects, sila ang malapit sa dating representante ng aking distrito. Ang iba ay kanyang mga kinakapatid o inaanak. At ang outside allocable naman sa aking distrito, kabilang po doon ang mga proyekto na nasa leadership list ni Yusek Cabral. At ang iba naman ay nasa Senti 20 list ni Yusek Cabral. At yun yung sinabi ko nung Nobyembre pa, na ayon sa mga listahan ni Yusek Cabral, tila na may pre-ordering ng mga proyekto sa DPWH-NEP. So, I gave an example kasi alam ko sa sarili kong distrito, may 6 na proyekto si Congressman Edwin Garjola. 2 sa mga proyektong ito ay nasa leadership. At paumanhin na lang po kung sino man si leadership. Pero gusto ko lang malaman sana bakit si leadership nagbigay ng 280 million pesos na pondo para sa 2 road projects sa Calatagan, Batangas. Alam ko po na may 2 road projects na ito. Marami nang pag-uusap sa Calatagan, Batangas kanino ang road projects na ito. At sa listahan ni Yusek Cabral, nakapangalan nga ito kay leadership. At meron din 4 na road projects sa Tuy, Batangas na kasama sa listahan ni Yusek Cabral sa Senti 20. At alam ko din po na ang 4 na road projects na ito ay kay Congressman Edwin Garjola kasi siya mismo ay kumausap sa akin tungkol sa mga proyektong ito. At doon ko nakita na may pre-ordering kasi nung August 2024 pa ang listahang ito, tapos na award sa mga kumpanyang konektado kay Congressman Edwin Garjola sa 2025, which gives rise for the ICI and the Ombudsman to investigate potential bid rigging for these 2 projects in the 1st District Engineering Office of Batangas. So I'm using that as an example for your general question. What are the anomalies in this list? It is the basis for the ICI and the Ombudsman to connect proponents to projects and investigate if there are transactions that result in the budget insertion turning into a contract awarded to a contractor.
Sir, did these things also happen in the 2026 budget?
Yes.
As Vice Chair of the House Committee on Appropriations, what did you do about this?
By the way, yung sinasabi kong did these things happen in the 2026 budget insertions that are being hidden from the public, which I will say a bit more about later, have. And the projects have not yet been bid. Kaya baka maraming mga bid rigging ay masa-stop pa kung ma-bring to public attention ang practice na ito. Pero may isisiwalat pa ako mamaya tungkol sa mga budget insertions sa 2026.
Yes,
And,
sir.
I'm just saying, in my own district, we're making sure walang lutuan ng bidding sa DPWH simula ngayon. Pero based on all the data that I've seen and all of the testimonies of people in the first district of Batangas, halos lahat ng mga bids ng DPWH sa aking distrito ay luto. At yun po ay tugma sa sinabi ni former Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo, at bahala na lang po kung gustong sabihin ng iba na iniimbento ko lang ito, na luto ang karamihan ng mga bidding sa DPWH, pero yan po ang aking masasabi ayon sa aking karanasan sa unang distrito ng Batangas.
Yes, sir. I reiterate my question as Vice Chair of the House Committee on Appropriations. What did you do about this?
Nagrereklamo po ako bakit hindi natin una isinasa publiko ang datos ng bawat distrito. Kaya nga ibinigay sa akin ang datos na ito. So ako po ay sinserong nagpapasalamat kay Sec Vince kasi noon hindi ito ibinibigay. Nung pumasok lang si Sec Vince, ibinigay sa akin ang datos na ito. Pero sana hindi lang ibigay sa akin, sana maisa publiko para makita ng ibang mga congressman din, kasi hindi nga buong kongreso may kopya nito. Pag makita ng ibang mga congressman ito, actually, favorable sa kanila. Makita nila all these years pala, mas maliit ang budget nila kaysa sa ibang mga distrito na mas maliit sa distrito nila. Magkakaroon talaga ng pagbabago sa sistema ng alokasyon ng budget basta may transparency kung ano ang nakukuhang budget ng bawat distrito. So my proposal is that the budget be allocated on an equation of land area and population. You can add other factors too if you want. It doesn't, my point is not what the equation should be. My point is that there should be an equation so that there is no discretion in selling of budgets. So that's what I've been advocating in Congress all this time. And I think that it has been taken into account to some extent, but more so the decrease in the CMPD and the DUPA was one progress that was achieved over the past few months, as you all know. I'm only responding to your question that as Vice Chair of APRO, that's one thing that I hope all of us in Congress can be proud of, na may konting progress naman po. Pero until we're transparent on the budget allocations, I think that there's low-hanging fruit that we can still achieve, which is why I wanted all of this to come out before the ratification of the BICAM.
Thank you, sir.
Sir? Marian from TV5. So sir, what's clear po is there's nothing irregular dun po sa mga pinost nyo, dun po sa dokumento, Cabral Files. What you're just pointing out is yung halaga po nung prioritization, ano? Yung sinasabi nyo po per district, bakit may malaki, bakit malaki yung pondo na pupunta sa kanila kahit maliit lang yung populasyon, and so on. And that's why you are lobbying.
Sigahan after the resignation. And until now, wala rin naman.
Sorry, I think there's a echo.
Yeah. That's why you're lobbying, and yun po yung pinush nyo nung kayo vice chair during the budget deliberations na dapat may equation, ano? There should be an equation. We get that. So walang irregular. What's irregular po talaga, highly irregular, is what you were saying during our last press con, na meron po kayong kopya nung BICAM insertions nung 2025. And that's what what we've been asking for po, na sana isa publiko nyo na rin po. And what's stopping you sa
Okay.
paglalabas po nito?
Okay, several responses po. I don't want to be quoted as saying that there's nothing irregular about this budget file, but rather I want to invite the DPWH to comment and let people also draw their own conclusions. But if you ask my personal opinion, the inequitable distribution of budgets disregarding population and the needs of the people is irregular, especially when you see that there are small districts that have many times more the budgets of big districts like mine and Batangas and others in the country. I think it's highly irregular that the DPWH cannot explain why there are some districts that have 5 to 10 times the budget per capita of other districts, and why there is a correlation na nagkakataon yung distrito na may malaking budget ay distrito na maraming mga contractor. That in itself, in my opinion, is highly irregular. But the more irregular thing is when more details on the proponents come out. And you rightly point out that there's still more that I have yet to share on the proponents of the projects. If I can kindly note, first, as you can see, I'm posting something new every day. So I I'm also working through the holidays to try and bring as much out as fast as we can. But that so there will be still more posted. But the allocable budget in itself is also irregular because the DPWH has been publicly stating that the NEP are projects of the DPWH and not proposed by congressmen. We were told not to use the word allocable during congressional budget hearings. Yusek Cabral had introduced that term to the public, and Secretary Manny Bonoan introduced the term leadership fund to the public. And apart from them, and I think Yusek Bernardo also mentioned allocables in his testimonies, the incumbent officials of the DPWH and in our hearings in Congress were all told, we're all refraining from using the word allocable. And we're all denying that congressmen have a say in the budgets in their districts in the DPWH budget, and are also denying that projects are submitted to be inserted into the NEP. And in the second part of this press con, I'm going to share some proof that projects are inserted in the NEP.
Projects are inserted in the NEP.
What's irregular is that projects are inserted into the NEP and that this is being denied when it is widely documented. And you can just ask other members of Congress and even their staff, this is what we do while the NEP is being prepared.
Yeah, I think that's proposals po ang tawag doon, not
No.
insertions, because
Let me show you the proof later. What's irregular is that they deny it. I will show it later.
anyway, sir, so how about the budget BICAM, yung hinihingi po namin?
I will show something later in this.
Sir, will that be the BICAM budget na po noong 2025?
There's still a lot more to show po. But again, the link of the proponent to the contractor is what the ICI and the ombudsman will do when they have the files, which the DPWH already gave to them. And that's where you see the more glaring irregularities. But in my opinion, the fact that the DPWH can't explain how 3.5 trillion pesos was allocated based on a formula they claim they don't understand is irregular. The people deserve to know how that 3.5 trillion pesos was allocated. By the way, I still haven't also touched on how the 214 billion pesos of unprogrammed appropriations was allocated to DPWH projects, because those projects are supposedly priority projects. And I think you will see when we also get to that, which we don't have time for today, that even the selection of the so-called priority projects for the 214 billion pesos of unprogrammed appropriations is also irregular. So please don't interpret what I'm saying as that there's nothing irregular. I'm just inviting others to comment first. But in my opinion, the whole budget allocation of DPWH is irregular, especially because the new DPWH secretary says that he does not understand Yusek Cabral's system of allocables, and yet this is still the basis for the 2026 budget.
Marian, pwedeng sisingit lang po.
Sige, okay lang kasi yung power of the purse, ayoko nang banggitin ko na bahala.
Sir, tanong ko lang, kasi ang dami na ring discussions eh. First, do you mean to say na yung budget data na nirelease nyo po is not enough to merit a case? Not necessarily not irregular, but not enough to merit a case? Yun po ba yun?
First of all, para malinaw, but I think you understand din naman, I have not yet uploaded everything. So I'm uploading something more every day. when you see the proponent of a project, that is the basis for a closer legal study. But by the way, I'm not the ombudsman. I'm a legislator, and in aid of legislation, I just want the data published so that people can ask the question, why does a Batangueño have 1/5 the budget per capita as someone in another province? So as a member of the Appropriations Committee, as a representative of my district, that to me is irregular. But the legal side of things, the ICI and the Ombudsman told me, I am citing them here, that the list of proponents on the projects in the NEP will be very useful for their investigations because there are 421, they said, ghost projects, and they don't even know who are the proponents of those ghost projects. That's why I'm sorry, but it's a big decision to publish the list of proponents of projects because this might help the ICI and Ombudsman build cases against some of my colleagues here in the House.
Sir, clarify ko na lang din. Yung allocables ba per se, illegal ba siya or irregular ba siya or is it more
Yung irregular, dalawa. Una, hindi maipaliwanag bakit ang ilan napakalaki at ang ilan napakaliit. And then may mga observations ko tulad ng kung saan yung mga distrito na malaki, nagkataon maraming contractor. So yun sa akin yung irregular. Pangalawa, the fact na dinideny na may allocable. Sinasabi ng ating bagong DPW Secretary, whom I don't blame kasi mahirap talaga na ma-discuss to dahil ang daming mga nakikinabang na sila din ang nag-approve ng budget. Sinabi niya, hindi niya alam ano yung allocable na ito. Pero ito nga yung basehan ng ating 2026 budget pa. Yung irregular sa akin din, yung dinideny nila na may ganitong sistema. At na ayaw man lang isa publiko ang datos na ito. Kaya nung nakuha ko ito nung Setyembre, hinihintay ko ang DPWH magsa publiko nito. At nung hindi nila isinapubliko, para sa mga nagtatanong bakit ngayon ko lang to ginagawa, ibinigay ko yung meron ako sa PCIJ. Ako yung source sa ilang mga ginamit nila sa kanilang file kahit na hindi sa akin ma-cite nung Nobyembre. Tapos, ngayon, sarili kong Facebook page din ang nag-upload. So, to summarize, dalawang bagay ang irregular. Yung hindi maipaliwanag bakit ang ilan malaki, ang ilan maliit ang budget na walang correlation sa population or land area or other reasonable metrics at the fact na dinedeny may ganitong sistema at itinatago ang datos sa publiko. But yung mas irregular, pag makikita natin ang mga line-by-line details on sino ang proponent at ang connection ng bawat isa sa contractor. Na sinabi ng ICI at Ombudsman, makakatulong sa kanilang mga hinahandang mga kaso ngayon.
Sir, ano na lang sir, I'll play devil's advocate na lang din kasi baka po merong, yun nga, may sumisita na po sa inyo na bakit ngayon lang nire-release. Ang naiisip ko kasi sir, baka may magsabi na kung ibang congressman yan, sige, i-name drop ko na, kunyari, Makabayan Black ang nakakuha ng dokumento. Walang, ano sir, walang condition eh. I-release na nila kasi wala silang pakialam sa DPWH eh. So sir, parang are you also parang naninimbang po kayo kasi baka nga mahirapan yung trabaho niyo sa Kongreso kapag talagang inaway po kayo ng ibang mga congressman?
Pwede kong banggitin ito ngayon?
Sige po sir, sige po.
Noong October 16, nag-press briefing ako tungkol sa mga contractor appointees ng DPWH na ako ay napapasalamat. A few weeks ago, inamin ni Secretary Vince Dizon at ng DPWH na tama ako. Dalawa ng mga appointees ng bagong liderato ng DPWH ay mismong kontraktor ng DPWH. At yung isa na nagpasok sa kanila na nag-resign una na si Yusek Ari Perez ay konektado kay Congressman Edwin Garjola at sinubukang ilapit si Congressman Garjola kay Sec Vince para makakuha ng kontrata. Anyway, yun po ang backstory. When I was giving that press briefing, may tumawag sa akin na mataas na opisyal ng DPWH on behalf of Sec Vince Dizon. At ang pinag-usapan sa telepono ay ang budget ng distrito ko. Ayaw ko naman na maapektuhan ang budget ng distrito ko dahil sa ginagawa ko ngayon. Pero ako po ay nagtitiwala na dahil tama naman na malaman ng publiko ang budget ng bawat distrito. The fact na tinawagan ako tungkol sa budget ng distrito ko sa gitna ng ating press con alone is proof na ang budget ay ina-allocate din for purposes other than the need of the districts. At minsan, ito nga din ay ginagamit bilang leverage over members of Congress. Pero nagtitiwala po ako na hindi maapektuhan ang budget ng distrito ko dahil sa ginawa ko ngayon.
Okay, sir. Thank you po.
Pero yan pong dahilan na pinatawag ako noong October 16 sa gitna ng press briefing para ipaalala sa akin ang budget ng distrito ko. But despite that, nagbigay ako ng file sa PCIJ at nilabas nila noong Nobyembre.
Sir, sorry, kakapasok ko lang po. Merong statement po si Yusek Claire Castro. Ang sabi niya, babasahin ko po sir sabi niya, why should this representation prove the alleged Cabral's files he claims to possess? He has started bragging about them, so it is his responsibility to prove their authenticity. Why should he shift his responsibility to others? We are not even aware if what he is in possession of are mere altered or fabricated documents.
Yes, I think that's from her vlog an hour ago, and I already responded to that earlier in this, which is, I'm surprised that she hasn't talked to Sec Vince based on her statements because Yusek Claire Castro will make a fool of herself because Secretary Vince and many others will confirm the authenticity of the files that I've uploaded.
Copy, sir. Thank you po.
Sir, you mentioned about the call last October during the press call. We were there. Narinig din po namin kung ano yung mga sinasabi nyo. And ang dating po while you were talking to that person from the high official ng DPWH, it's like parang you were challenging him about
No,
yung coming about. This was one of your transcript. I really don't know,
Yeah.
quote, I really don't know who's the contractor in your team, but if you can ask them and come clean to the public, then
Yes.
that would, I think, be a sign that there is real change now in DPWH. And then yet now you were saying na meron bang parang nangiipit po sa inyo? May nanggigipit po ba sa inyo tungkol sa budget ninyo pala that time? Kasi that was not the tone that we
Please.
saw during the press con. Thank you.
Excuse me, do you have the rest of the transcript? Because you can read the rest of what I said. I was talking about sana hindi lang distrito ko, sana sa buong bansa. Did you hear that?
So we asked you about what
Sorry,
did he say,
sorry.
and then ang sinabi nyo lang was
Excuse
Okay.
me, can you read the other part of my statement where I talk about sana hindi lang sa distrito ko pero sa
So
buong bansa?
what do you mean by that, sir? Hindi na po kayo nag-elaborate. Yun lang po
Sorry,
yung sinabi nyo.
but do you
So
have the
what was that
transcript?
about?
Do you have the
I can clearly remember what you said, but you did
Okay.
not elaborate on that. So
Okay,
what
let me
is it
elaborate now.
about? So ngayon po ba sinasabi nyo, ginigipit pala kayo during that time?
Let me elaborate. The reason why I said in my response, sana hindi lang sa distrito ko, kung hindi sa buong bansa, was because ang sinabi sa akin sa telepono that they will. I'm just trying to recall the exact words, but if I could just paraphrase, that they will grant extra budget for my district. That's what was being offered on the phone, and I said, I don't want it just for my district. I want the DPWH budget to be fixed for the whole country. I was being offered extra budget on that phone call in the middle of the press con. And I'll say
Kindly
a little
elaborate. Kindly elaborate, sir.
okay. In the same breath of talking about my allegations against the new leadership in the DPWH, I was being offered extra budget. In the same breath that I was questioning the DPWH budget, I was being offered extra budget. I think that's the more connected thing.
Budget po saan? Ano pong detalye rito, sir? Kindly please elaborate us.
I'm-
Thank you.
I'm asking for extra budget for classrooms in the first district of Batangas. And on the phone, I was told, we will give you extra budget for your district. If you read between the lines, that means you don't question our budget and we'll give you your budget. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, so you were asking for additional budget sana for classrooms po sa inyong distrito.
Let me
and-
explain. My argument from the beginning, also publicly stated, is that there should be logic behind the budget allocation, and the current system disadvantages certain regions. NCR has the lowest, but there could be arguments for and against that. And then Region 4A is the second lowest after NCR. And there are many districts in Region 4A that are much like the rest of the country, and so should not be treated like urban districts, like mine, the most rural district in Batangas. And yet we have a very low budget per capita. That's why I've been arguing we should redo the whole DPWH budget system so that districts like mine can get additional budget. Okay, so if you look then at what my proposal is, dagdagan ng budget ng distrito ko at ng ibang mga distrito na disadvantage sa current system sa buong bansa, at tinawagan ako para sabihin yung para sa distrito ko ibibigay nila. Huwag ko lang guluhin yung DPWH budget system sa buong bansa.
And then what did you do po, sir? Did you give in? Isn't that a bribe?
Exactly, and that's why tuloy-tuloy akong nagka-question pa sa DPWH budget system sa buong bansa. At yung matatamaan dito, yung mga lugar na maraming parking ng mga contractors. Because big parts of this DPWH budget have been going to places that are not even highly populated. But because that's where the contractors have seen that they can have the most lucrative projects. And instead, if this system is applied, then it will instead go to districts or areas even that need them, and not necessarily where the contractors can make the biggest profit. So the fact that I am continuing to question the DPWH budget system is me showing na hindi ako mabibili ng anumang budget.
Okay, so hindi po nadagdagan yung budget niyo para sa classroom?
Hindi, nadagdagan. Ako po ay nagpapasalamat. Dahil yun po ay para sa mga mamamayan ng aking distrito. Kaya ko sinasabi, dapat bawasan ito, bawasan yan, para magkaroon ng additional fiscal space para madagdagan ang mga budgets na matagal nang hindi ina-allocate. Matagal ko nang sinasabi, the reason we have a classroom shortage is because there is lower kickbacks in classrooms.
Sir, nadagdagan, I have to cut you, sorry, nadagdagan pala yung budget nyo for classrooms. So, paano po yung naging compromise? Kaya po ba hindi nyo po nailabas agad itong sinasabi nyo pong DPWH budget?
Hindi, kasi kung mapansin nyo, hindi ko tinigilan ng DPWH linggo-linggo. Kaya ako po ay nagpapasalamat na kahit na tuloy-tuloy akong nagque-question sa DPWH, hindi so far binawasan ang budget ng aking distrito.
Pero
But
nadadag.
if anyone will tell me that I've gone easy on DPWH, then actually I'm thankful because I'd like DPWH to appreciate na naging mabait ako sa kanila. Pero I think others can say, oh, it's good actually that DPWH is still is not slashing Leandro's budget despite him questioning the whole budget.
So, sir, magkano na po yung naidagdag in total na ng budget for your classrooms, no? Sa inyong distrito.
Yeah, okay, thanks. I'll take this opportunity to disclose I can't give a precise number because I was planning to actually publish the GAA of my district once it's approved. But the amendments that I'm making for the DPWH budget, by the way, I also posted this on Facebook. The price of the roads in my district I reduced, and I also canceled some roads by 616 million pesos. Yung sinasabi ng DPWH na hindi magawa, in-apply ko yung adjusted prices na hindi ginawa sa buong bansa sa roads ng aking distrito. May savings ng 616 million pesos. So, mula sa savings ng binawasan ng mga roads, inilipat sa classrooms. Kaya may karagdagang ding budget para sa classroom sa aking distrito. By the way, I haven't even gotten to my main point of my press con yet. This might take a very long time. But do you have any more questions, Marian?
Okay na ka, sir. Thank you.
Whatever I've said so far is, I think, less interesting than what I'm going to say after. Any more questions?
Sir, okay na po. Meron pa po kasi
Okay.
kami rin next press con.
Okay. So, just to wrap up on the Cabral DPWH documents. As I said, Yusek Claire Castro will make a fool of herself after she confirms the authenticity of the documents with Secretary Vince and many other people. And what is irregular is that it is so unequal and cannot be explained, and yet is still the basis of the budget, and that many people have asked this not to be released, and that I can really say it's being hidden from the public, and the public deserves to know where the budget is going. Now, having said that, what I wanted to emphasize is the inaccurate statements, or perhaps more bluntly put, lies in regards to how the DPWH NEP is done. Because actually, a lot of people say, oh, there's nothing irregular about congressmen submitting projects to the DPWH budget. But I would just like to bring attention to the fact that it is denied that congressmen submit projects to the DPWH budget. Kaya nga po si Senator Ping Lacson ay nagbunyag na si Yusek Cabral ay nag-alok ng 500M insertion sa NEP, di ba? Dahil dapat galing lang sa DPWH ito ayon sa mga pahayag ng DPWH. Please allow me to play a few clips from the DPWH budget hearings. Is YouTube now being shown on my screen? Secretary, is there any projects already nominated? Sorry, can someone say if YouTube is now being shown on my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, I believe nilabas po ni si Bryce Hernandez po. Now, because of that, just please indulge my curiosity. May I ask the good secretary if there were any projects that were nominated by any senator, and if yes, could we be provided a detailed report on this?
According to our staff po, wala po silang alam na mayroong ganong mga proyekto.
Okay, Mr. Chair, that's very
So, according to the staff, wala silang alam na may mga proyekto na ninonominate. Ito naman po, muli sa plenary, discussions on the DPWH budget.
DPWH mismo ang nag-submit nito ay for now hindi mo matatawag na congressional insertion, tama? Oo. Lahat po 'yan ay the president's budget, tama po.
Tama, Madam Speaker,
Okay.
Honor, hindi ito galing sa congressional mga congressman, kung hindi ito galing sa district office at mga
Okay.
regional offices ng Department of Public Works
Okay.
and Highways na napaloob sa RBPs.
Hindi galing sa congressman, galing sa DPWH. Hindi man lang sinabi, galing sa DPWH with the input ng congressman. Hindi galing sa congressman.
Sige, kaya nga ito po yung In other words, this is an amended NEP, no? Kaya usually sa DBM terminology, nababasa ko po, the NEP is the president's budget. Tama po?
Yes, of course,
Tama.
led by President's budget.
Okay. Alright, so dito na po tayo sa susunod na issue, yung usapin po ng unprog.
Okay. So, hindi daw galing sa congressman. If you will allow me to go into the second part of my presentation today, because I take exception to the statement that ako po ay nagsinungaling na may insertion si Congressman Terry Redon at ang Bicol Saro party list. And I'm also gonna play the relevant interviews when I made that claim as well to prove that even what I said in that interview is accurate. But even during our recent press briefing in the House, nakasingit na rin po ang discussion kung ang mga congressman ba ay nagsasubmit ng mga proyekto. Ang sinasabi ng iba, normal lang yan sa GAB. Pero ang mga congressman ay nagsasubmit ng mga proyekto hindi lang sa GAB, kung hindi sa NEP. Muli, parang normal lang naman na may submission sa NEP. Pero it's denied. And I just want to put it on the record that, again, yung sinabi ni Senator Lacson na inalok kay SP Soto na 500M, yun ay ginawa nga informally. And again, it was treated as a surprise in the Senate. But in the House, it is widely documented and should not be denied. And before the approval of the 2026 budget, I just want to put on record, it is a lie to say na hindi galing sa congressman ang ibang mga proyekto sa NEP at walang mga ninonominate ang mga congressman. If you allow me to just